Well, it's Friday, and I'm going to put this video on because, well, first of all, the last video I showed about putting a piece of hose down in the front of my bike, and a fellow, Mark, commented about using plastic dip. You can get the kind that you can dip a brush in, and he said put 3 or 4 coats on to cover that, and you can take it off when you want. And I thought it would look better. So the wife wants to go out and eat today. Well, she said wherever I want to go, and of course I picked a place, and it just happened. Never thought about it, never give it a thought at all, but here just right down the road a little bit's Harbor Freight. Amazing how things like that work out for you sometimes, you know. So I think I can get some plastic dip there and look around. But then another fellow, Brian, asked me about what I use for cleaning, and especially like white sidewalls and wheels and stuff like that. So I have shown a lot doing my videos, and I took a lot of them down, but I'll go over real quick what I like, the products I use, and what I've, you know, learned to use over the years. Some of it I just learned maybe a year ago or two, like I always say about clay bar. Brian Glenn, I watched his video, has an excellent one. That's the one you need to see. So I'm going to start from the winter, then into summer, and show the products that I like and I use. It works great. So as you can see, my bike, I just got done completely detailing it, cleaning it, and what I had done was I had washed it last fall when I knew in western Pennsylvania you're not going to be riding. I mean, you know, even though it's chilly, I'll go out there as long as it ain't raining, and sometimes if it's sprinkling light I'll do it, but I'll wash this thing from top to bottom really good. All the everything, try to get in there, and some of the things, everything that you have, like you have a lot of cloth stuff, you know, for polishing, you're washing things and stuff, you have to keep in containers, because around here in the summer we're getting the stink bugs, and them stinking things, they poop on everything and just get in there and die. So you have to keep them in closed containers. As I said, I really wash the bike, and what I use is coarse car wash. You don't want to use dish detergent, you know, liquid soap stuff. You want to use the regular car stuff for it. I think everybody knows that, but that's what I use, and it's what works for me. And I like these pads here for washing the bike. And something I came across was this, and I think it was at Walmart, and that is good for getting in between the cylinder and exhaust pipes and in around areas like that. I can stick this in there and it works great. I like that. It's the same thing as this, only it's like a wand, so I use them. Then he asked about the wheels and the white sidewalls. One of the best is this soft scrub and a brush like this. I do them when I wash my bike like that, and I'm really going to detail it. And then through the summer when I wash it, sometimes I'll give it a quick job. I never take it to the car wash. I don't like all that pressure on it. But I'll wash it here, and I take my bike lift out, put it up on it. It's the one from Harbor Freight. It looks like a forklift, so I can get around it, underneath it, every place. And I'll put it on there, so then the wheels are easy. I can just spin and scrub, you know, and do it. So I use soft scrub in this. I have used this tire cleaner. It's by Black Magic. It's a bleach white. You spray it on, leave it a few minutes, and then you have to hose it off real good. It works, but it seems like I get a better result with just soft scrub. Get it at a Giant Eagle, Walmart. That's what I really like. Let's see. Moving on. Okay, the chrome on the wheels. I just seen a video a guy showed of a pointed thing, and it almost looks like it's made out of this, and I believe you put it in your drill, and it's kind of like if it was shaped like that. You put chrome cleaner on it and you go in your spokes. I'm going to be at Harbor Freight today, and I'm going to see, I think he said he got it at Harbor Freight. I'm going to see if I can get one. But I think the trick of it is he showed you put your chrome cleaner on there don't spin it real fast, because some guys will buy that bowl, and you know, Walmart, and they're not cheap. They put stuff on it like a wax or something, it flies everywhere. They spin it up too fast. This would be good like this, putting the chrome cleaner on and then going in around the spokes. That's what they showed, and they were going easy. They weren't spinning that hard. You can get up in there. Now the Harley, it has brake drums. It's kind of easier to get in the spokes. The Suzuki, it has disc brakes on the front. It has just one on one side, so it ain't too bad to get in this one side. The side with the disc, it's hard to get in there. So if a lot of them have two on the front, I can imagine, but this might do it. So I'm going to see if I can pick up one today and try it, and I'll talk about it another video after I use it and see what it's like. Okay, so then the wax. Here's something. I have a 1970 FLH. Now the Suzuki, it's 6 years old. I've been really after it. It doesn't take much, so I try to keep this as clean as I can when I use it. But what I've done is I bought a little one, and I take it from here and put it into here, and in this one is for the Harley. And what I do is I take a piece of steel wool, 40, and you can get it at Walmart. And if you have a little rust in your rim, you do this, dab it in here and rub it, the number 40, and you work and work. You can get that rust off. It's amazing how it'll come back. A waterman guy came to read the meter, and I was talking to him. I said, hey, come look at my Harley. Here, he's a rider, and he's been riding for years, and he's the one that told me about that steel wool. But if you use a steel wool, you don't want to put it in your clean stuff where you're going to be using it on your headlight and all this stuff. So this is primary for just wheels where it's rusted. Maybe you have a little bit on the pipe, but don't use the steel wool all over the pipe. Use just the clean stuff. And I use those microfiber cloths, but I keep this just for a rusty area, and I can dip that steel wool, and a lot of times I'll just leave the steel wool in there, and I rub, and it takes that rust off. And that guy was right, and it works. So there's that. Now here's some scrubbing pads I use for the wheels and that. These aren't real harsh, but they're enough to get some of the grit off and this and that, and I might use this up under the fender. Then I have a bucket over there. I wash them out and keep them and use them a long time. I don't even know where I got these, but you don't want the metal ones or anything like that. These are kind of a soft. They're like for pans and that. I think I got them at Giant Eagle, something like that. Use those. Then the clay bar system. Like I said, two-wheel obsession. Brian does an excellent job of explaining it all. And here's what it looks like. I'm not going to go through all the details, but just quickly, this is what the clay looks like. And what you do is you use this. This comes in your kit. After you wash it, you take this first, spray the bike and wipe it off. Now that's after it's clean and washed good. You spray it just to get all the remaining dust off. Then you'll spray a little area and take this and rub it over it. And what it does is it gets in the paint a little bit. Like, it doesn't take paint off, but anything on attached to the paint, it'll take it off, and you feel it after you're done. It makes a difference. When you're done, you go over this again. That's why this goes pretty quick, so I bought a big bottle. After that, and you get a lot of that clay, and like Brian said, if you drop this on the ground, throw it away, because you're never going to get dirt out of it. I'll use it, and you'll see it getting a little bit dirty. So then you just work it like putty, and then get a fresh side. And it works great. And I mean, I've had this a long time, and you get two of these sizes, and I'm still on the first one. That's how much of the first one I have. They give you a little case to put in there, and I put gum bands around to keep it. And I've had it probably a couple years, and really love it. After that, you're done. You wipe it back down with this. Then you go to this pre-waxing glaze polish. It's a pre-waxing glaze. You don't let this dry. You put it on a small area, wipe it off, and wipe it. And you'll see it looks like, man, it's beautiful. But then, when you use your paste wax, I don't think this, no, this didn't come with the kit. I can't remember exactly all what comes with the kit, but Brian will show you. And this is a gold class Carnauba by Meguiar's paste wax, and I keep it clean in there. And what I hate is when they put that stinking pad in here, in the lid. You wet it and then use this. Well, you put it in here, it gets mold. It never dries out. I don't use it. I don't even like using the pads. I bought some of them and I use these ones a little bit. I don't care for them. I like to get a little piece of microfiber, wet it. I use it whenever I'm waxing. When I'm done, I throw it away. That way I ain't got to let it dry. And did I use it for this or that? When I go to do a job like this, I line everything up. I have these and microcloths to put it on and take it off, and buffing, and I have them all in a line so I don't use this one for another process. Excuse me. I want to keep, when I just did this, I had everything in my lines that I knew. The cloths go with that. These ones go with that. That way I'm not cross-contaminating anything. Then, this here, a lot of people don't know, but if you go into Walmart and look in the auto section at these, there's all different ones, and they're marked. Some are finishing, some are for other things, but they'll have a tag on. And I didn't know this, just found this out, not long ago. Of course, this is what you're going to use to buff it. But this side, you think, well, it's just a manufacturing product. No, this is to take the wax off. It's really made, and it really takes it off good. So you take it off with this side, then buff it with this. But you don't want to take it off with this side, because then you got all that wax on here. You want to take it off with this first. And that's the way that works. And it's worked good for me. Okay, your seat. You want to clean your seat? This is the best stuff I've ever found. And I come across this years and years ago. I had a car, the door side where you put your arm was filthy. I tried everything. I mean, soft scrub and this and that. Nothing would take it. I sprayed this on, you shake it real hard, spray it, it foams up, and you let it till the foam dissipates, and then you take a damp sponge, put it in hot water, wring it out real good, and wipe it. Well, when I sprayed this on that car door, and I had tried several things, I left it dissipate, and I look, and there's black streaks coming down. It was actually just like melting that dirt off. I could not believe it. I said, this stuff's great. You can get this in the dollar store. Walmart has it. Everybody has this. Tough stuff. That is great stuff. I love it. I was just telling about cleaning underneath and that. I'll take a toothbrush or another little brush. Awesome. From the dollar store. This costs $1 a bottle, spray bottle. Then you buy a bigger bottle, $3, and then you refill this. Stuff is fantastic. My buddy that I used to fly with and the guy that owned this bike, he's the one that told me about this, and it works. Okay, underneath your bike, if you have any chips on the frame and stuff like that, you want to touch it up. I've done it for years. One day I seen this down at the auto parts, and it comes in satin or shiny gloss, and I think now they have a few colors, but it's VHT, and you can see a strut on there, and it says epoxy paint. I tried a can of that because there was a place, I think, on the Harley that kept getting hit with stones. Cleaned it, sanded it, painted it with this, let it dry good, took it out, come back. Never had that trouble again. This stuff is good, and like if I'm going to make a little bracket that's going to be on the bike, I use this. It just holds up so much better. I had to modify my brackets for those saddlebags I put on. I used this stuff. And like I said, semi-finish and gloss. Then of course, Armor All for some of the rubber stuff, this and that. Anything that's going to be moving, I like this white lithium grease, because if you buy a brand new car, you always see the door hinges are kind of white. It's like a white grease. That's what it is. You shake this real good, put it on, it stays there, and it keeps feeding it into the metal, because when the door opens and closes, the hinges, you're rubbing the paint off. There's no paint inside the hinge and that. This protects it, keeps it lubed. then run that Formula 11. Now in the summertime, I don't detail it like that. I mean, I'll clean it real good, but I don't do a complete detail job because I'm riding, I'm busy. So I'll wash the bike the best I can, put it up on the lift, do the tires, everything. Then I dry it. Then a lot of times, maybe I'll wax the two fenders and the tank. Sometimes I don't even want to do that. I want to hurry up and get done. You get this off of, it's made by Top Coat, Formula 11. You can get it on eBay, and you just mist it real light and take a buffing rag and go over it. Oh man, it's a sealer and a cleaner, like I think. Master Craftsman Polish and Sealer is what they call it. And it is good for everything. And like I said in my last video, how I found I could do my seat with it. Because a seat, my God, you'd never put this on there. You'd slide all over the place. You wouldn't put this on your foot pegs or your floorboards. This you can. I've used it on my hand grips because they're non-slip on the Suzuki Boulevard. You can use it on your windshield. But like in the wintertime now, my windshield, I took a sponge with the car soap, washed it till everything's perfectly clean. Then I used this wax on it that I use on the bike, you know, just in the winter when I'm detailing it. I waxed inside and outside of the windshield. Then throughout the summer I use this. I use this on the glass for the rear view mirrors. I just mist a little bit and wipe it. Beautiful. Trying to think. I think I'm getting... Okay, this cloth I bought at Walmart, and it was kind of expensive. It's like in this section you can tell they're more money. They have different naps for different things. The tag, you look at the tag close. I used to never read the tag. I felt it and took it. I started reading them tags, and they are different. So that was a little bit more expensive one. Well, one day I go in there, they had these. All of these, they're kind of like the same thing, but a cheaper, like a cheaper brand. But they're, you can tell the difference on the two sides. Not as quite as good as that one, but you can tell this side would be for taking off the wax. This side's more plush. That would be for buffing it, but it doesn't have the softness of that. But hey, what the heck, you know. Use these in the summer, and a good one, and then I wash it out here and put it back. But there was, I think, I might have used one. There was all of these for like, I forget what they were. They were either $9 or $11, and I'm like, wow, man, all them, so pick them up. Then a lot of times go to Harbor Freight, you can get something free. You can get 4 of those microfiber cloths. I'll get them. If the wife doesn't want anything else, she'll say, well, you know, we both go in, she'll buy one thing, I'll buy something else, so we get something free. She'll say, do you want the claws? I'll say, okay, so I get 2 packs of them. I get one, she gets one. And that's basically it. For working on the bikes or cars or anything, to really get bolts loose, a friend of mine gave me this coil, and I've tried it. Heard a lot about it, and it works. But I'll tell you, when you have a bolt down in there and it's rusted, you put this in and let it set a while. If you can't get it loose, don't over try it. I found heat. I get the torch and just heat it out around where the bolt's in. You heat that heat does so much, it'll break that loose. And another thing you can use is, the story goes, my uncle was an electrician in the mines, and he knew a lot of hands-on stuff. So my brother went over there to ask him something one day, and he was working on a vehicle there, and he was trying to get this bolt out. Couldn't get it out, tried. He went and got this little bottle, unmarked. It was like a little plastic bottle he had liquid in. He went over there and he put it on that bolt, wait a little bit, come right out. So my brother said, what's in that little bottle? He said, that's hydraulic fluid. And he told my brother, he said, did you ever see a hydraulic, something hydraulic that didn't leak? You know, he said it's like a penetrating oil, and that's what he used. Of course, if it was so rusted and in there so hard, you know, you might have to heat it. But he would just take hydraulic fluid and pour it on like you would this. But this is the oil that creeps. Oil. I don't know. I guess they still make this, but it looks like it's an old can. But it works good. So I'm trying to think. That's probably it. But that's what I use and what I like. But that clay bar for the really detailing, my oh my, it's just unbelievable how, you know, you wash it, you could go ahead and wax it, but it ain't the same. That clay bar, that's the trick. And then throughout the summer, F11. So that's two things that are the best, clay barring and the F11. Oh man. And the bike, it's I really like that bike. You know, when I first got it, I was like, I don't know, but plenty of power, easy on gas, enjoy it, comfortable, man. You can ride that thing all day. But the old Harley, I got to get it out. Oh, then another thing, like this bike's done, I'll put a cover over it, keep it covered. But once in a while, I take the cover off, I'll charge a battery, put it on. Something I found at the dollar store that's unbelievable. It was $1. That's all it cost. This. This is so, it's like a feather duster, but I don't know what in the world it's made out of. Soft. And what I'll do is when I open that, I start dusting it. You know, I just can't let my one neighbor see, because if he sees me out here with that, I know I'm going to hear it. So I use it and I hide it. I know what's going to happen. He's going to say, you look like a maid out there. But oh my God, I could just see him. Oh my God, that'd be a nightmare if somebody told him. I don't know if he watches my videos, but if he does, I'm going to find out. But this thing here goes in between the cracks and crevices, and it's unbelievable how it takes that dust off. You know, this silly little thing. I seen that, and I told the wife, I said, man, that'd be good on the bike. Oh, get it, it's only $1. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, if somebody finds out, here I am putting it on YouTube. Yes, I have a feather, no, I can't say I have a feather duster. I don't know what it is. But it strangely, it works great. You can put it over the fenders, the tank, and everything. And I mean, it's just anything else you're going to use, you know, you're going to be there a while. This, you can go so fast. It's unreal. I've never seen it again up there. It was the only one there. And, you know, well, I'd only bought one, but, you know, I never seen them have them again. And I thought, man, that thing is so neat. Then, I think the guy that asked me about all this is new to my site. So, recap something else here. I have to get it. What did I do with it? I know I knocked that down. I don't see it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I can show it now. I take a lid, and I have modeling clay that I put a piece in there. Then I've talked about these before, the gaunch sticks. They're incense, but you get them at the dollar store and look for the ones coconut. They're mild. You could actually burn it out here when you're out here. Some of the other ones are pretty strong, but they're a stick. And I put these in here, and what happens is I can't use them in the house because we have cats, and you know, they're sensitive to smells, so I wouldn't do it. But out here, I'll stick that in there and light it. Now, like now, when I'm done, I go in the house, I'll light that and put it on a metal thing back here, so you know, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. Stink bugs hate this. I put this in here, and I put one in the back room. In the summertime, I have it set where I have, you know, 2 of them going. When I go to close up and I put the stronger ones on, I go out, I light them, go out. I hardly ever see a stink bug in here. So it's like stinking the stink bugs out. They hate that. But, oh man, them lousy things. And then we're getting a little, they look like a beetle. Well, they are a beetle. They look like a ladybug. That's what I meant. They look like a ladybug. And a lot of people were saying, oh, the little ladybugs. No, they're beetles. And they stink. If you bump them or something, or in the house, they get on. You can have a house sealed up, and these stink bugs and these little beetles get in the house, they must come in off of people or something, because I tell you, everybody has them. Everybody. And they said the stink bugs come into, I think, central Pennsylvania from a shipment out of the country. So there you are, you're stuck with them. Just the other night I'm in there getting them, and I told the wife, the guy that brought them in there ought to, the rest of his life, he ought to be spending them around going home to home catching them and getting rid of them. What a mess. The neighbor told me there's a type of a miller, and he showed me one over there. It was there, and he said they have those that eat the stink bugs. Then my sister-in-law lives out there, and they have a lot of trees around her house and that, and they were telling me that the one time these birds were coming in, these big blackbirds, and getting the stink bugs. They were eating them. And the one day, my one cat, he looks like a little lion, Cinnamon, he must have ate one, because I could smell it on his breath. I always go over and hug him, and I'm like, oh man, I know he got a stink bug. He never did it again. But it was like, man, your breath, good God. I don't know what that tastes like, but they're nasty. Oh man, out here, like I suck them in the vacuum cleaner, then the vacuum cleaner stinks. But it's a shop vac, I don't care, because I'm tired of trying to get them. Just, oh, these lousy things. But I've been using these, and this summer I'm going to be using them, because that's when they start coming out. Sometimes it's not quite as bad, but they said each one will have 400 little ones. So every time I kill one, the wife is against it. She don't kill nothing. But man, I'll kill them, and I say there's 400 more dead. Well, 401, the one I killed and the babies it would have, you know. She don't like it, but man, God, you got to kill them. Oh my. So let me see. So Brian, I hope this answers your questions. That's the products I use. That's what I like, and it just takes time. The spokes, I do them one at a time. I did it this because when I detail it, I do it. Now all summer I won't, but I'm going to try to get one of them things I can put in a drill to do it quicker. And if I have it up on the lift, it's right there. It'll be easy. I don't have to get down on the ground. But and the chrome cleaner I like is this, the Mother's mag and aluminum polish. I really like that stuff. It works good. That's it. So have a good day. And my wife said she was the one that said she wants to go to eat, so she's paying. I'm not. She better pay. I think that's only right. The person that asked you, they're supposed to pay. So that's what I go by. Well, that's what works for me. Have a good day.